Here we go. Tomorrow night, game 3. Boston leads the series 2-0. They are 37-0 all time when they lead a best of 7 2-0. Cleveland 6.5, 205 the total. Adjusted series price, Boston's minus $2. How about the first half, Teddy? We've been telling you about this for 2 years on SportsBit, or a year and a half when I took a couple months off. But this is astonishing here. It's a sick ATS run going back 3 years. Bet the home team first half in game 3, and the first half is 6, but the spread's 6.5.
Yeah, this is as big of an adjustment as I can ever recall seeing. You know, we talked about a little of this for Warriors Spurs game 3 when San Antonio went home 2-0. Here, I mean, where you're seeing literally the full game line in the first half line is the same line at some sports books. It certainly stands out as a significant market adjustment. Of course, when a trend, 34-4 over the last 3+ NBA playoffs, the 0-2 team returning home for game 3 has been pretty darn good in the first half, hence the betting market adjustment to reflect that ongoing trend. And of course, 3 of the 4 losses were the same team. The Warriors have been the one team that's been able to overcome that. Given Boston's struggles, you know, you think back to, they won 1 game on the road in the postseason. You can understand why the first half line and the game line tilting towards Cleveland after the rest, which I think benefits the Cavs more than the Celtics. You can see why the early money came on the Cavs, despite the fact that 21-50 against the spread as chalk this year. Only 1 point spread cover in the postseason as home favorites, and that came against Toronto in game 4 when the Raptors were done. Laying points with Cleveland has not necessarily been exactly a money-winning proposition, and I wonder about the effects. You know, look at the picture. J.R. Smith's shove of Al Horford. Does that have an ongoing effect in this series? Some of that is a real concern if you're trying to lay points with the Cavs tonight.
Well, Celtics also responsible for one of those losses. They beat the Sixers in game 3 when they led that series 2-0 as well. They got the money in the first half. Mark Lawrence tweet at Mark Lawrence. In his NBA playoff career, LeBron is 18-3 ATS in a series after his team started 0-2 the first 2 games. The supporting cast, again, been terrific for Boston. The home road disparity as well. 9-0 at home, straight up in ATS, 1-4 on the road. Offensive efficiency rating, 111.9 at home, 99.9 on the road. Defense, 101 at home, 109 on the road. And the bench players only shooting 33% on the road as well. So just like that Milwaukee series, they haven't been the same team on the road as opposed to home. But going back to game 2, some things that stuck out to me: backcourt points, 52-5, 50 points in the paint again. Outscored them in the second half, 59-39, and over 40 uncontested shots for Boston in game 2. The second worst defense in the league in the regular season with Cleveland. We saw it in the first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, the effort wasn't there for the Cavs. Flat out, there was an effort issue, and I think they were gassed. Certainly in the second half of that ballgame, they looked gassed after they came out, with LeBron playing like his hair was on fire early on in that contest. Couple of comments to talk about here. Mark Maidman, Cavs will win and cover. Trap game for the Celtics suckers to take all those points. There's certainly something to be said for that argument. When you read the quotes coming out of Cleveland, LeBron, we're going to see what we're made of on Saturday. You talked about Mark Lawrence and that 18-3 trend he brought up with LeBron down 0-2 in a playoff series. That's a meaningful trend for a superstar player. Tyrone Lue, quote, "We got to come out swinging. We've got to be aggressive. We've got to be physical, and we have to have a physical mindset that they're coming in, playing tough, they're aggressive, and we've got to match that. We've got to be tougher. I think they're playing tougher than we are. They're being physical. They're gooning the game up. We got to do the same thing. We've got to be tougher mentally and physically." Tristan Thompson, quote, "Yo."
I was going to say, who does LeBron trust? Who are you going to pass the ball to? J.R. Smith's been terrible. Corver hasn't done anything. Thompson, George Hill's been terrible. Clarkson didn't play in game 2. Other than LeBron, The rest of the Cavs team, 5 of 20 from 3 in game 2. 25% in the first 2 games from 3. Ugly.
Sure. I mean, if you're grading out the best players in the series, LeBron's the best player in the series. And maybe the next 7 names on the list would all come from the Boston side. Maybe making for a case for Love somewhere on that list. Maybe. It certainly hasn't been the Cavs stepping up in any way. Now, time to prepare. Extra time to prepare. A little bit of time to rest. A little bit of time for R&R. These are factors that I think work in Cleveland's favor. Tristan Thompson, again, they're going to play physical. They got to. That gets them going. And they've got players that are gritty players that play hard. That's their edge. That's what they bring to the table. Guys got to be ready for that. And if you're not ready, then you can't play. 2 possibilities in my mind for this game. 1, the Cavs just implode and the Celtics go on and sweep this series. 2, we see Cleveland hit some of the shots that they've been missing in the first couple of games, and that gives them the energy on the defensive end. Worth noting, the Celtics in the postseason, the most undervalued commodity in the NBA, 10-3 against the spread in the playoffs. As underdogs from day 1 this season, the Celtics blindly betting Boston catching points, 24-8 as dogs. They've been a 75% ATS proposition in this role, betting them blindly. But of course, the public sees that. The public knows that. It's been the wise guys who are betting Cleveland, the public who's betting the underdog Celtics.
Amazing but true. Regular season, Boston with a better record on the road than at home. And also the #1 defense in the regular season as well.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.